Hi there, thanks for joining me. So, today I want to talk a little bit about one of my passions as a child, but first I just wanted to let you guys see Houdini here. He's not going to be joining us, but he is shedding. You guys can get a good look at him there. He's really dull, and it's just because his skin is starting to separate. He sheds about every 3 weeks or so. And I've got a little moist paper towel in there for him that he's sitting on. Help keep him nice and moist while he's shedding. And you might be able to see his eyes are really milky. Sometimes they get almost kind of blue. But yeah, he's just chilling out, getting ready to shed. Aren't you, bud? So I just touch him, let him know I'm there. I like to try to get him used to being touched while he's in his enclosure. He's good, but a little sweetheart. Yeah. Alright, I won't bug you. So I just wanted to let you guys see how he's doing. So today I want to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and kind of what they meant to me as a kid. And the inspiration for this was really watching Happy Console Gamer, which I'm sure a lot of you guys watch. Just doing some initial impressions of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game by Platinum Games. Now, he was just doing some initial gameplay and impressions, and I watched him play it, and I was looking at that game, and it just made me sad. It made me sad because I know that none of this turtle stuff is ever going to be what I want it to be, and I've accepted that. I know Michael Bay and all this stuff. Any of the games, they're just never going to touch the turtles that I know. So let me just sort of explain to you how I got started on turtles. So here we have, interestingly enough, credited to Eastman and Laird. This is the Archie Adventure series. Now, when I was younger, this was in 1988, I believe. August of 1988, specifically. And I would have been about 11 years old, I guess, at the time. So, I was getting into comic books. I was a little bit more serious at the time. There was some series that I followed. And so I was keeping an eye on the newsstand, and this just popped out to me. I don't think I had seen anything on the cartoon series or anything like that. I did look it up. It seems like it started previous to this, before they started doing the Archie comics. But anyway, I went ahead and cracked this out, just so you guys can see, what this was like. And, it was a cool comic. I remember I went to, some stupid summer camp for a couple weeks or something this year, I guess, and I brought this comic book with me, and all I did was draw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff the whole time, and I rode a horse or something. But anyway, so this was kind of the introduction, and I thought this was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Now, this is probably more similar to what people are used to, just in terms of, I think that this was probably based on the cartoon to a certain extent. And, that could have been the extent of it. I dug out a picture here that I worked on. I don't know how well you guys can, I don't know if it'll focus on it there. But anyway, this was something that I did. I actually signed it in 1988. My picture of Raphael here, I guess he was my favorite turtle at the time. Yeah, so interestingly enough, we had this thing in my grade school where we did a pen pal exchange with one of the schools, not that far from us, if you drove 20 minutes, half hour or something. So one of the other graded schools, we did a pen pal thing. So I ended up being pen pals with this one guy, and I can't believe that I was able to lay my hands on all this stuff. This is a picture that he sent to me when we were pen paling back and forth. So this is his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He says, "Hey Raph, what's the matter? Mike, I think we hit a dead end." It actually has his name on the back and everything. It's really cool. So I'm glad I kept this. And but you know, we both liked turtles. That was like a thing that we had in common. So you know, we sort of bonded over this. And I remember he invited me to come over to his house. So my mom actually like drove me up there, and I hung out at his place for a day. And I feel like we might have hung out like maybe more than once, but if it was just once, at any rate, he took me to the local comic book store. Now, I had always like newsstanded all of my comics, and so this was like an honest to goodness in the 80s comic book store. And it stuck around, man. The guy that ran that, you know, he was running it up to like in the past, you know, 10 years or so. But anyway, the cool thing about that is that he was into the original Eastman and Laird Turtles. So what I mean is like these here. These are the Mirage Studios original. These are like black and white, you know, kind of independently published, direct to comic book store issues. This is not the kind of stuff that you'd, you know, find at your local drugstore. I had never encountered this before, and so you can see here, this is April 1989. So within a year, I sort of went from like the Archie comics to this, and this completely blew my mind here. This is book 20. So they were, you know, they were already a ways along with it, but you can see here, you know, just already it's like this really lush black and white, just amazing artwork in this. And what they used to do with these is they would have guest artists. A lot of times, I don't even know, like, I don't know if this says the credits for like who wrote. I guess they don't really put it at the beginning, so I'm not gonna like look for it. I don't know how well you guys can see this either. Here, let me center it a little bit better. But this is amazing, and it blew my mind at the time. Again, you know, at this point I was about 12 years old, and I was right at a time when, you know, I was ready to sort of to get a little more, you step up the maturity level, you know, of my comics reading a little bit. So this was just great for me. This was really amazing, and so you know, having gotten in this one issue here, and just thinking it was the coolest thing ever, I did start collecting the comics of it, and I'll show you here. This was a back issue that I got. So you know, this wasn't. I forget which one when they had the alien things here. This was like issue 7 or 8 or 13 or something like that. But then I sort of started picking them up periodically when I could get to that comic book store. This is issue 27. This is or book 29. This is book 30. And I don't know about these ones, but I'm assuming they might be like 31, 32, and 33. So anyway, you can see like the art style, it changes a lot. This is a really cool cover, actually. I really liked the style for this. It's odd and different, but it's cool. You know, and they were just doing cool stuff with these comics. Now, I liked this so much, of course, that here's. I don't believe I like managed to dig this stuff up. This is a picture that I did. I'm sure I like took the composition from like, you know, one of the pictures that the artist had done, but I didn't trace or anything. I used to love to draw. This is from 1989, so this is, you know, definitely after I'd been introduced to kind of the other style of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is so embarrassing. We did this really crappy photocopied comic here, my friend and I. It's just, I don't even know how well you guys can see this, but it's so funny. This is so bad. This is issue 1 for 25 cents. It's one in a 2-part series, which we never did the second part of. So this was my friend, I won't say his whole name, but it's Wright and LaFrance, me being LaFrance. The Untold Story of the TMNT. Die, Turtles. It's the Teenage Turtles meet the Teenage Monkeys. Will they die? This is just, it's double size apparently. We did stupid ads in it for things that didn't exist. This is Sneakers That Bounce. And this is just, This is so bad on every level. We have a page where we didn't get a an image in it. This is awful. It's so bad. And it's like, I don't even know. It's not even very many pages. That's it, basically. So here we've got the credits. Well, I guess it's got all of our names in here, whatever. I guess my friend Nate wrote it, and Nate drew it, and I guess I drew some of the stuff. We sort of shared. Maybe we, like, I don't know, each did our own pages, or who knows what. I did the inks, which are horrible. This was like a felt-tipped pen. And I guess I lettered it anyway. It's just... So, I liked the Turtles a lot, obviously. But the really cool part, a couple of cool things, actually, I guess. So, once we discovered these, they have these really amazing graphic novel collections. And these are spectacular. If you guys just want to get into the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like even now, I would recommend getting these. I doubt that they're expensive. And these are wrecked because we used to read them so much. But the cool thing about this, and I'm not I don't want to be some sort of color snob or something. Let me scoot over here a little bit. But they colorized the black and white, and it came out so good. I've never seen a black and white comic colorized that came out this well. I don't know what they did. I've actually seen some of their original artwork at the Words and Pictures Museum in Northampton, Mass. When that was around, I don't know that it's around anymore. But I mean, their original pages are amazing looking. But it was all black and white, so whatever they did to color these is fantastic. It might have been some computer stuff because you've got these nice gradients, but I don't know, man. I mean, they could have airbrushed some of that, or I don't know. But these are amazing, and blood, and I mean, this was like real, non Comics Code Authority kind of stuff, and it was great. We loved these. You got the whole origin story here, which they talk about. Which was totally different. I don't know, you guys have probably heard maybe that it almost seems like an homage to what do you call it there, Daredevil, where you actually almost have the Daredevil intro here a little bit. Let's see, at the last moment, a young man leaped at the blind man and knocked him out of the truck's way. As the truck screeched to a jarring stop, the metal canister bounced out of the back of the truck and struck the young man near his eyes. Just a little nod to some of that stuff. Anyway, it hits this turtle thing, and they end up mutating into these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, what I would want from anything turtle related is something that harkens back to this stuff. And here, you've got Shredder here in the foot and stuff. Shredder was a throwaway character that was a villain for the first couple issues of the comic. That's it. Now, as far as I know, he does come back later. The foot and him do have a bit of a more of a story later on again. But they did that, and then they kept going, and they had really cool stories. I forget what this guy's name is, but he makes all these rat trap robots that go crazy. It's cool stuff, and as they keep going, they get more and more creative. I really loved this second book probably the most, where they let's see here. They end up these robot things, and they capture Splinter, and the Turtles go to save him, and they end up getting warped into this dimensional transport where probably these things came from. And it starts this really cool story arc where they're on a completely different planet, some sort of other world. They run into this robot, which they did a mini-series of, which I have. I just loved this stuff. Again, we get into these Triceratops sort of, I think they were called Triceratons. And again, probably because that was the first book that I picked up was one that dealt with these characters that I just really enjoyed the story arc. But the thing with the Turtles is it really captured my imagination. And I think that that's an important thing with anything, be it, you know, comics or video games or anything. I really respond to having my imagination sort of stoked. So you know, you see, you know, I drew stuff, and but the there are so many cool things that you could do with, you know, the storylines in Turtles stuff. And they're never going to do it, which is really too bad. Just, you know, dig into some of this comics material. They had a role playing game that was based on the Turtles. Oh gosh, what was it called? I forget. Oh man, I'm not even sure if I remember the company anymore. Anyway, I'll look it up and put some information up here for you. But I got the you know, the initial guidebook for that, and my friends and I, we used to come up with like mutant animal characters. You know, mutant bugs and mutant you know, all this different stuff. Here you've got like a time lord sort of character. They're like these time traveling people. I mean, you know, this was like a real interesting comic with like interesting stuff. It wasn't just like there's a crossover here with Cerebus in it, which I just think is great. You know, they were just doing really creative, fun, interesting stuff with this. It wasn't just you know, every turtle thing that I've seen is just like rehashing like the cartoon and stuff, and it's just I don't want to have anything to do with it. You know, it's sad. I don't know that they're ever going to go back to this kind of source material and do really interesting stuff with the Turtles. But you know, I still have these. You know, people can still go back to them, and you know, I think this is what the Turtles was about, and just great artwork, great storylines, a lot of creativity. You know, things that really got you. You know, got your imagination going about, oh, this, it just seemed like this really cool world, you know, like this vigilante guy here, oh god, what's his name, Casey Jones, and you know, just so much cool stuff. So anyway, I just thought, you know, it'd be fun to share with you guys some of my memories of the Turtles, and what, you know, what the real Turtles means to me, not all of this garbage that they you know, Michael Bay movies and all this crap. So anyway, you know, if you guys have any memories of the Turtles, you know, whether it's this or the cartoon, or you know, even the more recent stuff or whatever that you know, you guys want to share, I'd love to hear your, you know, your experiences with the Turtles, if they've had an impact on you as a kid, the toys or any of that stuff. And you know, thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll join me again for I don't know, more, hopefully video game and anime related videos. Maybe I'm just going to start talking about old comic books from now on, who knows. But thanks for joining me.